Did you know that a staggering 80% of the items that we choose to hold on to never end up getting used? Today, I am sharing 10 decluttering habits that I use to keep my home clutter-free. Now, I'm not saying I have no clutter in my home. However, I have employed all of these things that I'm about to share today, and I have had amazing results. My home is so much less cluttered than it used to be. These are 10 habits. You can start them today. Like literally after you watch this video, go out and start these habits. They will only take a couple of minutes and they're gonna make a huge impact. And let me tell you, a clutter-free home is so much easier to keep clean, so that it has dramatically improved the state of the cleanliness of my house and the tidiness of my house. It's just so much better. If you are thinking about decluttering and you're not sure to get started, take this video as your sign, because I'm telling you, once you declutter your home, your whole life is going to improve. Number one is, it kind of leans on the principle of like clutter attracting clutter, and I really do believe that's true. So my tip here is to start with a clean slate. I find that if I can declutter an area and finally get it looking like I want it to look, I am so much more apt to keep it clutter-free going forward. I had my master closet, and it's like a huge walk-in closet, and it was packed to the max. It was packed so full, not only with clothing, but just with like items that we didn't use. It had like a vacuum cleaner in there, just like random things that we just shoved into the closet. I did a whole video about it. I will link a card if you're interested in watching it after this video, but let me tell you, what I did is I pulled everything out. I decluttered that whole thing. It did take me like 3 or 4 days to do the whole thing. It was a massive job, and if you watch the video, you will see. My closet is completely decluttered now, and it looks like the day that I decluttered it, which was over like 1.5 years ago at this point. So just start with that clean slate and you will keep it going. My next tip here is one that I've shared before, but I do it as a habit now, and it's to declutter little and declutter often. I have this thought about decluttering, and it's kind of like exercise, right? Like, you know you need to do it, yet you don't want to do it. But you know that it's gonna make an impact if you do a little every day. It's not like you're gonna exercise once a month and it's gonna make any difference. You've gotta do it every day, or you've gotta do it in some sort of like regular cadence so that you make an impact. I apply the same thing to decluttering, and I do a little each day because I don't really love decluttering. Although when I do get started doing it, I do kind of want to keep on going and continue the good effects and getting rid of things, but I don't love it so much that I'm like, yes, I'm gonna go declutter right now. So I find if I just set a little time aside each day to do a little bit, then I can actually get it done. I also find that what happens is, this is kind of like the discipline. There's a lot of motivators out there. You know, you could watch a video, you could read about decluttering, and that will motivate you to declutter. But if you have a lot of motivation and you don't have the discipline, you're just not gonna keep it up and you're not gonna get it done. So I think the discipline comes in when you say, I'm gonna do a little bit each day and get it done that way. This next one is a true habit, and it involves paper clutter. And we all have paper clutter, right? Like, it's just like paper comes in, it comes in from outside of the house. Your kids bring artwork home, you bring receipts home, you get mail, you get junk mail, and before you know it, you're drowning in paper. And you save it, and then you don't want to go through it because it takes a lot of time, because you have to read each document. The habit I follow now is keep the paper clutter out of the kitchen. Do not bring the paper into your kitchen. Do not let it crowd into your kitchen. It's gonna make your whole kitchen appear clutter. It's gonna attract more clutter. Some of the things I like to do, I mean, number one, when I get the mail out of the mailbox, I immediately go through it. I do not put it down. If I don't even get the mail out of the mailbox if I'm not prepared to start going through it. So when I see that mail, I go through it, I take out the junk mail, I recycle it, I act on the other pieces and get rid of it. I also have a basket in the back of my house, so if there is paper that I need to do something with, it goes in that basket. And then I can see the basket and I know, hey, I've got to get to that paper. The next thing is to get into the habit of not bringing stuff home. When I come home, I do not bring things from the outside in. And I'm talking about things like napkins from the restaurants, or condiment packets, or receipts, or any kind of garbage, really. I just don't even want it coming into the house, because then once it crosses that threshold, it's something that I need to deal with. And you can even take this so far as to say, like, things that people give you and donated items. Just say no. Unless you truly need it, just politely decline. If you're enjoying content like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button below. It's free and I make videos twice a week. Don't buy anything unless you truly need it and you truly love it. Obviously, certain things like consumables, you know, go ahead and buy those. You do need food and the basic necessities. But do you really need like another face cream if you've already got one? Do you need more shampoo if you've already got one going? use up what you have. Do not buy more. Really think about things like kitchen items. Like, do you need another serving dish? Do you need another pair of jeans? Think long and hard before you buy these items, because the problem is you can keep on decluttering, but until you stop bringing those items into your home, you're just never going to be done. It's just going to be this cycle that continues. You buy more, you declutter more. That's just the way it goes. Another habit that I've been doing is I've incorporated some of the principles of Swedish death cleaning into my everyday decluttering. Swedish death cleaning is really like a different type of decluttering. It's kind of like not even decluttering or cleaning. It's, even though that's what people use it as, it's more of just like a way to look at your stuff and think about the purpose of your stuff. But one of the things that I like to do, and I will take this from Swedish death cleaning when I'm looking at stuff and I'm having a hard time, is if I'm not using the item, I will say to myself, will anyone want this item when I'm gone? That's literally the question that I ask myself, because if I'm not using it now and I don't need it now, and then nobody will want it when I'm gone, I don't need to keep it. And it helps me make a decision right then and there. The next habit is I have gotten rid of as many knickknacks as possible. I used to love knickknacks. I would get souvenirs, I would pick up things. I loved it, right? And these things would be all over the house. But then guess what happens? You have to clean around them, and they attract dust, and they just make your eye think that your whole home is cluttered and not as clean as it is. So what I recommend, if you love your knickknacks and you want to keep them out, that's fine. But what I'm suggesting is think about the knickknacks you have, and can you cut them down 50% and put them away? Then you only keep out 50% of what you've got, and then you can kind of rotate them. And so like in the spring, you've got one half of your knickknacks out, then you put them away and you bring out your other half of your knickknacks, and it's like you have a whole new house going on. But my point here with the clutter is don't buy knickknacks. Don't bring any more into your home. If you've got some, figure out a way to cut them down. Another habit that has really helped me, and you've heard this, people say this all the time, but until you like truly start doing it, you won't realize how powerful it is. Anytime I'm in a room and I am going somewhere else, I simply stand up and I scan the room and I see if there is anything in the room that I need to grab and take somewhere else, like if it doesn't belong there. It's never leave a room empty-handed. I know I've said this before. I know you've heard this before, but it's such a good tip. I incorporate it into everything. So now I am constantly never leaving a room without something in my hand. It's just a habit now, and it has really helped to like declutter things, put things back, get things where they belong. This next tip is if you have kids and it's about the artwork and things that they bring home. What I do, if it's a particularly nice piece of artwork, I hang it up, and I hang it on the inside of our cabinet. That way it's not just like hanging up somewhere and kind of cluttering up the kitchen. I will put it on the inside, so every time someone opens a cabinet to get something, they see the piece of artwork. The other thing that I do is I simply take a picture of it. I'll put it down, I'll snap a photo, and then we've got that picture forever, and I can get rid of the actual piece itself. The next tip is to eliminate clutter in the places that you see when you first walk into your home. I don't know what it is, but these are the places that can sometimes get the most cluttered. Whether you come into an entryway and you've got a cluttered entryway, maybe you have a cluttered living room, maybe you're even walking into a kitchen and you've got a cluttered kitchen. Just kind of walk into your house for the first time and look around. What looks cluttered to you if you were a visitor? And if you don't know, like if you're unsure as you're looking around, my recommendation is take a photo, then look at the photo. I'm telling you, when you look at a photo, for some reason, when you're looking at the photo versus when you see it in real life, you can kind of objectively see like, okay, yeah, this area looks cluttered. And that will help you to know what to tackle. And once you tackle those things, it will just create this freeing feeling, because you're walking to your home and you're like, okay, well, I've walked in, everything looks uncluttered, and you just feel good about your home right from the beginning when you get there. Donate items on a regular basis. And there's a couple ways you can do this. You can schedule a pickup if you want to do that, just like schedule a monthly pickup. That way you have this like external pressure where you know, like I need to collect some things and have enough to give them. The other thing you can do is keep donation bins in strategic rooms around your house. I've got one in my kids' room. They grow so quickly, their clothes don't fit them from one day to the next. So I make sure that I'm constantly got that bin in there and I'm collecting their clothes. I also have it in my own closet, because when I'm getting dressed in the morning and I'm pulling something out and I'm seeing like, maybe I don't want this anymore, I used to just like put it back and then just have to declutter it later. I don't do that anymore. Now I take the item and I put it right into the decluttering bin that's there in my closet. I also have one going from time to time in the kitchen if I'm focused on kitchen. I actually have one in the kitchen right now. I'm doing a little bit of kitchen decluttering, and so it's sitting there, and once it gets full, I'm gonna be taking it to the donation center. So just get into the habit to donate regularly, because if you wanna get that clutter out of your house, you have to figure out a plan for how it's going to leave your house. You don't want that clutter just being moved around. I was guilty of this for years. I would declutter my kitchen and then I would stick everything in my attic. Hey, I didn't see it, but my kitchen looked good. Don't do that, just get it out of the house. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching. If you wanna keep the decluttering going, I'm gonna link a video right here. Click on it and I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.